Yeah.
By the way, you know how they knew what type of shampoo Paul Walker used?
Wow.
They found his Head and Shoulder on the dash.
And we're rolling. Senator Ben Adams. Here we are. Thank you for coming today, sir. Oh my God. Okay. I don't even really want to restart. We're going to just keep going.
Okay.
That joke will never be heard, but God bless it. Let the record show. You nailed that one. I was just going to tell you a really dark joke. I'm not going to tell you now. Thank you for coming, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be on.
Listen, you and I got connected. Did you realize when I texted you the other day that I had texted you in like January 5th or something of this year?
Yeah, it was in the same text thread.
It came up. And again, no shade on you, because I realize now it's like, dude, trying to connect with somebody in the first 15 days of the session, good luck. Like they're running 18-hour days, going ham. So I didn't realize that until later. I'm like, oh yeah, he probably was not looking at his text. But you and I got connected this time because you have been really trying to carry the momentum of educating people and advocating for the protection of our public lands. And not just like hey, let's advocate for it, but like, hey man, let's do what we were sent here to do, represent the people, pass meaningful legislation that has meaningful effects. That's what you're getting up after. And again, especially with the Mike Lee bill, Senator Mike Lee, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Especially with the Senator Mike Lee bill that from Utah that recently reared its ugly head and people lost their mind. It's like, okay, is there something Idaho can do? Because I can't affect Mike Lee. He doesn't represent me. He represents great people of Utah and like, awesome, whatever. Is there something we can do here? And this is where you come in. Talk to me about what you are proposing.
Yeah. So this is a constitutional amendment, which means the voters get to vote on it, which is, I think, one of the most... the Constitution is where their rights and privileges are enshrined, not where they get them, but where they're kept, right? Where
so it's recognized where you already had this, we're just codifying it. Yeah.
So this issue is a complicated issue. If you talk to anybody in Idaho, they're going to say public land is the elephant in the room, and it doesn't matter which industry. I just pulled a hand signal. There.
No.
Sorry.
A hand signal?
Yeah.
You're good.
No. But
have you ever done a podcast before?
Maybe once.
But was it like Zoom or was it like
yeah.
in person? Yeah, you didn't really do one then. No, I just asked because when your hand went up, I didn't know if you were worried that you like blocked the camera. Like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, no,
okay.
You're doing great. Little bit crazy start, but
yeah.
Anyway,
Dude,
so that's where the rights.
You walked right into it, dude. You walked right into it. You thought I was being serious.
Oh, you were probably not a band guy, were you? Like
yeah.
You were?
I played the trumpet for like...
Dude, I played the trumpet too. God, up to Air 5.
That's right.
Anyway, so you would then know that the band instructors have like the worst jokes known to humankind. And so here I am, like a freshman in high school, or it's like 1995 or something. And my instructor, Mr. Acatino, was like, hey, did you know that the night Princess Diane died, she was on the radio? And I was like, I didn't know that, sir. I was pretty young, but like I remember hearing about that. He's like, yeah, she was on the radio, and the dashboard and the steering wheel, and it's like, oh my god.
Dude,
Mr. Acatino.
Dude, my mom. I remember when Princess Diana died because my mom and two sisters like wept. Dude, it was like
wept.
Yeah.
She's a monarch from another country. She's the OG American villain.
Yeah.
Like she's the oldest villain that we've ever had as Americans. Like,
yeah, but she was human. I think that's the part that made her different. Like, it, like, I'm Prince Charles dies and they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay.
I'm not following. I don't watch like reality television shows with royalty and stuff.
Well, it's not reality television shows. Unfortunately, it's the monarchy.
It's the reality.
Yeah, but most of them are very. They're seen as very like distant from normal people, and that Diana wasn't.
Yeah,
she was a normal person. She came off that way.
She was a beautiful woman. Like I remember seeing her when I was a kid and being like, whoa, like that's what a beautiful woman. Because there was this, you ever listen to, I don't know if you're a big podcast guy, but I'm a big fan of Rogan. Like, I'm married to Rogan. I'll date other podcasts with small clips, but I won't actually marry them. Like, I'm not committing 3 hours of my life to somebody else's show. But there's Weinberg is on his show. The brothers. Weinstein. Brett
Harvey?
Weinstein. No, Brett. Brett. The evolutionary biologist.
Oh.
Brett.
Not Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus. We're going to have to redo this whole episode. No, but he was, a couple years ago, he was on and had this great distinction. It was like, I want you to imagine, this was his sentence, like, I want you to imagine somebody who you think is beautiful. Like somebody that you look at and you like see her eyes and like, and you're like, wow, we could make a life together like this. I think we could make this happen, like as a couple. Of course, she's not thinking that because you look like a dog, but like you see her and you're like, wow, beautiful. He's like, now I want you to think of somebody who's hot, right? And his whole point is like, these are two completely distinct things. The hot person is tapping into like your, a lizard brain where you're just like, ugh. And the hot, as he put it, he's like the hot designation actually is just signaling for risk-free procreation. That's essentially what somebody registers in your head when you say like hot. You're like, oh my God, look at her. She's so hot. It's like, you're not interested in what books she reads, right? But somebody who's beautiful, you're like, who are you? Like, what do you, and I think that was like Princess Diana for me as a young person, like, wow, she's beautiful. And yeah, like I can see
High value woman.
God bless you. And look at us low value men sitting here talking.
Well, dude, I married a high value woman. I got lucky. So
yeah, definitely lucky. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Can I ask you something with the constitutional amendment?
Yeah.
There's a process you have to go through even to get the constitutional amendment up for a vote, right? So during this legislative session, does it have to pass the House and the Senate in the same way a bill would? And then, so they all have to agree, we're going to give people of Idaho the decision here.
Yeah, it actually has to be higher than just pass. It has to get 2/3. So
super majority.
2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate. And I think we can do it. I think this is an important issue for the public. I think it's an important issue for legislators too. And so what this amendment does, it doesn't touch endowment land. And I think that's a huge distinction that needs to be highlighted. When we think of public land in Idaho, we think of the endowment land that we have. We also, which is the state land. We also think of the U.S. Federally managed public land, right? But they're very different. So that federal public land is for the public. That endowment land, as it states in our Constitution, is for the maximum financial return to the institution, which is usually education. So they have the permanent endowment fund.
Right.
And so its job is to make money.
That's its only job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And we started with like, what was it, about 3.5 million acres? And now we're down to like 2.1 million acres or something, roughly around there.
Yeah, it's in the twos.
Yeah. And we have a board, the endowment board, right, which is made up of 5 constitutional officers, correct?
Correct.
Secretary of State, Attorney General, Governor, right?
Yep.
Education, Debbie Critchfield, Superintendent of Education, and then Lieutenant Governor? Is that the 5th?
I think it's the... I should know this.
No, it's the...
Brandon Wolf.
Yes, I was the state
controller.
Controller. Yeah, there you go. And those people, to your point, their whole goal is to maximize the financial ROI of the lands in that endowment, and that's predominantly used to fund our education system. Yeah. Which is totally different than federal lands, which is like, no, this is for everybody in the United States, multi-use. You can have leases for, ranching. You can have leases for, windmills. You can have all kinds of, you can do mining leases, all kinds of things.
Well, hopefully not windmills.
Hopefully not. Well,
Yeah. That's me personal.
Did that gangster bill ever pass, by the way?
The which one?
The gangster bill, where they were going to put like a $6 million fine on every single windmill that came through that didn't want that like the counties didn't want or something. There was a bill that was being run by Representative Ehlers and I think Representative Hill, and it got coined the gangster bill because they're like, this is gonna be gangster.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think so because I don't remember voting on it.
Okay, then we're far foot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted.
No,
okay,
you're
so
fine.
again, federal lands and endowment lands, two completely different things, and your bill would be affecting which?
Public land, the non-endowment land. So our Constitution doesn't actually talk about the federal land at all. And something I want to highlight here, a lot of folks get into this mindset where they're like, oh, well, there's state land and that's ours. And then there's federal land and that's theirs. The public land is yours. The public land, the federal government might have the deed to that land, but it is your land that they are tasked to manage on your behalf.
Come back. Yeah. Rotate it up. There you go.
Come back to the mic.
Come back to the mic.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's our land.
Yeah. So it belongs to us, and the federal government is tasked to manage that land on our behalf. So anytime we hear these, oh, we need to sell this off, we need to do this, especially for something as
temporary.
Oh man, low-income housing is the biggest gaslight of our time. I'm just gonna be honest; it's just such a gaslight. We have 10% of Port St. Lucie, Florida, which is a large city, right? And that's just one. If you look at, I mean, the data is out there. You're looking at least 5% vacancy rate for single family homes in the United States, almost everywhere.
Not in Idaho though.
I think Idaho is like 3%. But
for vacant single family homes for sale or for rent?
They're just vacant.
Okay.
Like it's my second home, or it's owned by, a land company that has. They're just holding on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that stuff is not attainable for houses. Like if you're saying, hey, look, we don't have a housing shortage because, Jeff over there has 2 houses and he only lives in one full time. Well, like that's not an answer to the housing shortage.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that.
And I'm not even saying your commentary about low income housing is a gaslight or appropriate or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying, like, if somebody has 2 houses, pointing out that they own 2 houses and can only occupy one at a time isn't really that's not a pressure relief valve.
No, but I will point out that my generation is not the one who owns 2 houses.
No, our generation.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I was trying to make you feel old.
Yeah.
No,
feel old. I moisturize.
That's
I'm
right.
not even
you
old.
Do. You look young and fresh.
Thank you. You're the one wearing pink.
Yeah. It's coral.
Okay, I thought it was Nantucket red. Anyway, keep going.
No, but and what you'll see too is there are lots of houses that could be utilized, but they're not in places where people want to live anymore. And that's a real problem too.
Like Detroit.
So when we talk about this housing issue, we've got, I'm going to use Port St. Lucie, Florida as an example because they're
Wait, why are we talking about Port St. Lucie? You're an Idaho senator.
I'm
an Idaho
senator.
resident. I don't give a squat. You know, Anna Luna Polina or something in Florida. She's a congresswoman. Okay. Congresswoman in Florida. She's my cousin. Yeah. And she's big and she was just on Rogan. Try that. What a trip. Turn Rogan on. You're like, Anna? But the point is she cares about Florida. I don't care about Florida. Let's talk about housing in Idaho. Because if something's a red herring in Florida, it may not be in Idaho, right? And again, I'm not saying affordable housing in the foothills is a good solution. Well,
I'm using Florida I'm using a specific town in Florida as an example because when the pitch to sell this public land came out, it was, we're going to build affordable housing. There is no such thing as affordable housing anymore. Okay, that doesn't exist. To rent, right, to get an apartment is the same as it used to be to buy a house. Like it's insane. And it's nationwide. It's a nationwide issue, and he's trying to solve it by selling off the public land that's around us. So so when I bring in this 10% vacancy rate, in that same place where there's 10% vacancy, they're still building apartment complexes. It's because that 10% vacancy rate, it's not like they're just sitting on the market. Okay, the vacancy rate isn't whether they're for sale or not. It is how many homes are not occupied. And a lot of those are owned by corporations that are purchasing up single family homes, and it's artificially inflating the housing market.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I dove right in, but
no. Listen, you're good. And it's a tricky mistress, right? Because you're kind of like, okay, look, why are they purchasing up? Right. I was in the States, that shall not be named. I got the best Chinese food I've had in years. And it was in this disgusting hole in the wall strip mall with like dirty stucco siding, with like an old Safeway and an old Long's Drugs that were like vacant. And essentially what had happened is they're going to redevelop it for like apartments or something. But the Chinese food place, they're not having it. And their cousin that owns the laundromat next door, they're not having it. Right. So essentially what is going on is you have this whole vacant area, and then two businesses operating still in this little strip mall. And by the way, it was incredible Mongolian beef, like shocking Mongolian. I was like, this is wild. I can't believe. Anyway, the point is, if you look at that little example, you have corporations that have purchased commercial and are sitting on it. And you could make the argument they're artificially driving up the cost of commercial in that particular area because they're sitting on vacant things. It's like, okay, but what's the life cycle of this plant? Oh my God. I'm sorry, everybody. We're back. Okay. So my apologies. The point is, we don't know when you say corporations are buying up homes. I've heard this a lot, but we don't know what they're doing with them. Like the argument that's like they're spending $500,000 cash to buy this house so they can slightly drive up the rent by $100 on that one. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like, there's got to be a plan intact here. They're fiscally responsible. They have an obligation to shareholders. Like, they're not just buying them up and sitting on them with no plan, right?
Well, they're buying them up, and then they're using the construction arm of their industry to build apartment complexes as the change off.
Okay, great. So what you're saying is we have vacancy, but it's in the process of building. So we're going to take like 10 single family homes on a block. We're going to demolish those trashy single family homes. We're going to build a 50 unit apartment complex.
No, unfortunately, what we're seeing, and again, I can't speak for their motives.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We're speaking for it right now.
I can't.
This is what they said.
But what I can do is I can say what I see. And what I see happening is you've got vacant homes. You've got these homes that are held right in a corporation.
Yeah.
Which since there's not fewer homes on the market, all the other homes' values stay high, which keeps people out of being able to purchase a home. And then they're going out and building apartment complexes, low income housing for people who can't afford a house because the market is so high. That's what I'm seeing. And it's not in one city, it's everywhere.
Do you have an example from Idaho?
You would ask me that.
I do like Idaho.
Yeah.
Because we can use the boogeyman. I've never been to this place in Florida. I don't know what you're talking about in Florida. I've only lived one other place. And I cannot say, like, I did see apartment complexes that were built that were required by the city to have at least 15 units designated low or affordable housing. I never saw vacant, like large swaths of vacancy driving up the real estate market and then pushing people into low income housing. If you say it is happening, that is fine. I'm just wondering if there's anything we can point to here.
Yeah, I would say in our state, we have we're one of the few states where people are pouring into. Honestly, it would be interesting to see how, again, and the reason why I'm talking about this, and I know you love Idaho, and why I'm bringing up the national issue of low-income housing, because Senator Lee's proposal wasn't directed towards Idahoans.
Right. Listen, that's 1,000%. We've gone off. Like, he was going to throw Idaho under the bus for this, as you're pointing out, like gaslight, where it's like, oh, we need more low income housing. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe we need more houses that are financially affordable for people. That's fine. But like, this isn't the answer in Idaho. Maybe that's the answer in Utah. I don't know. Apparently it's not the answer in Montana. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But again, the fact that it was proposed here, that's not an answer here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it doesn't solve our problem.
Right. So recognizing this then, and even calling into question the nature of the reason behind the bill, when you bring something forth for a constitutional amendment, what will that constitutional amendment say? What are the people going to be asked to agree or disagree with?
Should the state of Idaho Constitution be amended to create a new trust to put a new land that is given from the federal government into a new trust, never to be sold and used for the benefit of the citizens of Idaho?
Okay. So we have our current endowment lands, which we have to use for our best financial return, which has led to slow sell-offs, starts and fits of a portion of it. We went from roughly 3.5 to now we're in the 2 somewhere, right? I think it's over 1 million acres we've lost.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. And that's because that endowment land is obligated to engage in the highest and best return, right, for our schools. Taking that into account then, if we produce a new trust, first off, the federal land is going to be the one occupying that. Will there be a charter with that federal land, like you have to maximize the financial return?
That's the great part about this is we are sort of getting ahead of the curve here by putting in our Constitution that this is what we're going to do with new land if it comes from the federal government. It's going to go over here, and this is how it's going to be utilized. And putting that in our state constitution, even if Congress was to pass a law that gave us land and outlined you're going to do this, this, and this, we preempt that with our state constitution.
Okay, this was going to be my question. Beautiful. So what you're saying is we set up a bucket and we're like, just throw it our way. I dare you. And as the federal government, but we don't, just because we pass this in our constitution does not mean we have legal control over that land, right? It's still
federally managed land, yeah.
But if the federal government gives us the land, so if they give us the land, it falls into the bucket, right? And it's protected. What if they auction it off? What if they're like, we're going to put this up for sale? Yeah, Idaho, you can bid, but so can the Wilkes brothers.
Well, this is what I'll say. Oh, man. I don't want to talk about Mike Lee anymore, but he kind of started it. Okay. One of the most disrespectful things about his proposal was in his second or third revision when he was trying to, get people to come on board was, we'll let local and state governments, we'll let them bid for it first. What local government do you know that's sitting on millions of dollars that can outbid a developer? None.
Yeah,
Zero.
There's no way.
Especially the ones that are surrounded by public land.
You mean like rural communities?
Yeah, they're not sitting on millions of dollars to outbid.
They're not.
Right.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
They can't pass a damn school bond, and you think they're going to raise $500 million to buy gigantic swaths of land just for recreation and stuff?
Yeah.
Of course.
It was the most. I mean, I thought the entire proposal was disconnected from public sentiment, but that piece alone was like, dude, you don't even know what's going on at the local level. Like, you don't actually understand where your local units of government are sitting.
Dude, let's get a hold of Mike Lee. You got his number? Let's call this guy.
I do not have his number.
Could you imagine if we called him? Like, hey, Mike.
Hey, we have a question for you.
Matt and Ben here.
Yeah.
So bottom line is that.
Now, I think one thing that I want to throw in. I need to make this really clear. This is not fixing the problem that we have had for the last 100 years. This is setting the stage to have a different discussion on the same problem in the next 100 years.
Now, first off, let's be real clear. What's this? Your proposal?
Yes, the amendment.
Okay. So the amendment is not fixing the problem that we've had for the last 100 years. What is that problem?
Arguments over federal management of land inside Idaho. Well, there are some folks that love BLM. There's some folks that hate them. Some folks that love the U.S. Forestry Service. Some folks that hate them. There is some land in Idaho I don't think we should ever have.
Why?
Because we can't. It's a net negative to manage it. It would cost us more than we could ever make.
And if we lose it, that doesn't mean it doesn't have a value.
Oh, yeah, no.
It just doesn't it wouldn't pencil out for a monetary value. And it's like, what are you going to close the fence? Like, even if Idaho was like, hey man, let's all get together, as if we could all agree on something. Let's all get together. Let's come up with $5 billion and let's buy all of it. And then put a chain link fence around it. It's like, that's not going to happen. It's still going to be open land, right? Like, we're still going to have, just like our state land. It's not like there's a fence around our state lands that prevent people from the outside coming in. You know what it's like? Let me tell you what it's like. I interviewed Nancy Merrill last night. Nancy Merrill was one of the OG city council mayors for the city of Eagle, right? And she was on, started helping the city with planning in like the mid 90s when it was like, 1,000 people here. And she's running for city council again. And we were talking about Avamore, the annexation of Avamore into the city of Eagle. And I was like, why do that? Like, I never really understood what was in it for Eagle. And she kind of explained, she's like, well, those people are coming into Eagle anywhere. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean we need the burden of like supplying water and tying into water. So there's like utilities, policing, all that. It's like, whatever, they're up in Avamore. Like, let the sheriff take care of them. But ultimately what it came down to, it's like, no, look, the people in unincorporated county can come into Gerber Park, which is in the city limits, which is maintained by the city, which is like paid for, like the whole thing. They come into Gerber, the splash pads on, that's city water, right? Like the whole thing. They can come in there. Nobody's checking a wristband. Nobody's asking that person for like a 5 spot to like, mow the grass. People just get to come in and enjoy it. And for that reason, bringing people from Avamore that were going down to Gerber Park, bringing people from Avamore into the fold of taxation made sense, at least in her mind, because she's like, look, let's get these people paying. Let's grab the tax base from them to help maintain the things that they enjoy within the city of Eagle. And that's the same thing, at least to some degree, with public lands. It's like, we're not going to stop people from coming onto public lands. Even if the state of Idaho took all of the federal public lands, we'd have this enormous burden. And then all of these other places would still be allowed, like the people from Virginia or the people from Ohio. They could still come in and go elk hunting and do all kinds of things on the federal public lands. The only difference is now we're the only ones paying for it. Instead of everybody chipping in and everybody can come, it's like, let's be the ones hosting Thanksgiving, and no, you can't bring a side or a salad or a dessert. We'll do everything. You just come and eat and then leave the dishes.
Yeah, 62% of Idaho is federally managed land. Right now, the cost of managing that, and I'm skeptical of whether we actually invest enough in managing that, but, and when I say we, I'm in the federal government, 60% of Idaho is federal land. And so that spreads the tax burden over 350 million people.
Right.
Give or take an illegal.
Right. Taken illegal. That's why we need the grocery tax, right? Because they pay. Grocery tax.
I'm not here to talk about the grocery tax.
That's your line. Yeah. You're like, that's the line. I'm not saying.
You guys want to? Hey, you know what? There is a ballot initiative push to get it on the ballot, and if people want to get rid of it, they can.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're engaging in a ballot initiative, right? Where it's like, hey, let's make a constitutional amendment, right? And aside from this is distinct, obviously, from the classic ballot initiative where you just need to garner enough signatures. And it's like, okay, the people want to say. You, in your constitutional amendment, the legislators have to agree that we give the people a say. Okay, either way, it all ends with the people having a say. What do you think about that? Because there's like the grocery tax ballot initiative. Okay, should people have a say in this? Okay, or the constitutional amendment. Should people have a say? Or some medical stuff. Should people have a say? Because you have ballot initiatives coming out. One is for classically a very conservative position, eliminate the grocery tax. Did you know actually this is where the right and the left meet in the middle? Because I had Lauren Necochea, the head of the Democratic Party, and Ron Nate, the head of the Idaho Freedom Foundation, both saying eliminate the grocery tax. And then the people in the middle are like, what about all the people that come in from out of state? Or like the people that don't file taxes to get the rebate? And like, you can get the rebate of $155 per person, right? People in the middle saying that. People on the right and the left saying like, no, get rid of it. Anyway, my point is, what do you think about the ballot initiative in general? Like that process, giving the people a say.
Yeah. Okay. So I like the ballot initiative. Okay. That I know that's to some folks that might seem surprising. I like the ballot initiative. I like the idea that me as a citizen, because I wasn't always a state senator, and I'm not always going to be a state senator. And I like the fact that I can bring a redress of grievances to my legislature and say, you guys aren't, it's funny because when my first year in the legislature, I actually debated against putting a question on the ballot because I felt like it restricted the ballot initiative process. And I said, listen, the entire function of the ballot initiative process, and I went back through the history books, read down through what did they say in their debates when they were putting this in, which happened in the progressive era. Surprise, surprise. Direct democracy, right?
There you go.
But I looked at it, and the whole function of it was the people need to have a process to bring issues before their legislature that their legislature is refusing to take up, which happens.
Like term limits?
Like the grocery tax.
Term limits. That's the only ballot initiative that has ever passed and gotten vetoed. That's why I brought it up. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like the people were like, yeah, we want term limits. And the politicians are like, I ain't about that life.
Yeah.
that crushed it.
That was before my time.
It's before my time. I just found out about it like a year ago. I'm like, wow, that's wild. I don't know anything about term limits. Like, obviously I see it both ways.
Now, this is one thing that's very important to talk about when you talk about the ballot initiative, though. It does need reformed because when you have, we were promised and guaranteed by our founding documents to have a Republican form of government. And direct democracy, if you read anything that the founders spoke about, they were like, yeah, that's tyranny by 50+1. You can do it. That's what the French had. Right? In the French Revolution, they saw the negative effects of just straight populism without any checks and balances. And that's why they created the multiple branches of government and these checks and balances. So what I think would be a good fix is not to make it harder to get anything on the ballot. I think it's pretty hard to get stuff on the ballot right now. You have to have broad public support. I think what it needs, that would kind of, in my mind, it would put a lot of the things to rest with this back and forth that we've heard about the ballot initiative for years, is allowing the process stays the same. The people get it on the ballot, they vote for it, but instead of it immediately becoming law, which is the direct democracy where it circumvents the legislative process, after that session or after that election, they go in, and 2 months later, their House of Representatives, their legislators that they just voted for, ratify it.
Right. Okay. But can't they just 2 months later pass a law that takes it away anyway?
Yeah, they could.
Right. So like the ratification, they could just, but like why?
Because a ratification is holding your legislature accountable for not taking up the issue. So let's say grocery tax, perfect example.
Right.
Let's say this process was in place. Grocery tax passes on the ballot, and instead of it automatically getting swept off the books, right? And then the legislature saying, oh, maybe we're losing revenue, which will be the first time that they're concerned about that. Okay.
Oh my God.
They're losing revenue, so we need to bring it back. Okay. Instead, it passed. they gavel in, hey, the session will come to order. They read the question that was on the ballot. They read the votes. Every single representative in that room is going to know how their district voted on that issue.
Yeah, but that's
every single one of them.
Okay.
And so then, because how many times have you heard, oh man, well, they won't hear the grocery tax for years. They won't hear the bill in the committee. Well, wouldn't you like to see the tax chair vote up on it? Wouldn't you like to see him actually cast his vote?
Yes.
It's more of an accountability process than it is. Because again, direct democracy has a very bad reputation. Some of the worst things we've ever gotten have come through that process.
Medicaid expansion.
Yep.
Defeating Prop 1.
That was more of a pushback.
Hang on, though.
No, Prop 1 was the amendment. No, it got defeated.
I know. This is my point. Nobody's upset that, well, at least I know some people that are upset that the Prop 1 did not pass, but the people that argue against direct democracy also saw it play out, the majority of them in their favor with Prop 1. Right? So it's like, I don't understand this. We could point to the French Revolution. A lot of crap has happened since the French Revolution. Plus they were all like, they all had diabetes because they were like down in too much sugar. Like that's actually true. They all had like, all kinds of diseases and like there's like crazy things were happening. That was a crazy time of the world. But to say like, hey, any form of direct democracy is bad because of the French Revolution, it's like, how has it played out in Idaho? And I don't see many examples of direct ballot initiatives in Idaho turning out like the French Revolution, right?
No. Well, it wasn't great. We had a lot of the same health problems and all those different crazy things in the colonies. And our founders still looked at that process of government and said, that's not what we want for our form of government.
That's true. But naturally, that's 100% true. And we can give a lot of credit to our founding fathers and them being like, hey, man, like, I'm glad Franklin had a good time over there, but like, let's not do what they're doing over there. Like,
he had a good time.
He had a great time.
Did you read the book?
Listen to me. Far foot. It's Friday though. Just pour some bourbon in the coffee. And we're like, yeah, fine, whatever. I get that. But also that was before like the Industrial Revolution. Like you had, that was
pre-union, pre all this.
We have had a lot of life that has happened since that time. And the idea, I think the ballot initiative is an interesting thing. And more than anything, it warms my, like, I'm not passing a ballot initiative. Like I don't have anything where I'm like, hey, the legislator's screwing this up. I got to like get the people, organize the people, get the people together, Matt. Like I'm not doing that. But, I see this as like, okay, what do you do if you're a citizen and you have politicians that are captured or institutions that are captured and there's no mechanism except through them to govern yourself? There's no mechanism. You always have to go hat in hand, no matter what, even if you all 100% of the citizens pass something. Then it's like, but we still have to ask. That to me, like, it kind of makes my skin crawl. And I don't know anything about government. I don't know anything about being a politician. I don't know anything about governing. But what I do know is the idea that the average citizen like me doesn't even have a process ever to affect his own governance or his own destiny without asking drives me insane.
The consent of the governed. That's where government derives its power, from the consent of the governed. That's how our system is set up. So, again, I think I want to reiterate, I like the process of the people being able to bring an issue before.
No, you don't. You said you don't. Just kidding.
Gosh, you suck. No, I like the process of being able to bring that issue forward.
You just think there needs to be a ratification process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stamp approval. And then you have people on record. It's like, hey, we passed this thing.
Yeah.
You voted against it or you voted for it. And then the people of the district can be like, hey, man, we told you we wanted this and you voted against it.
So in 2 years, you're out.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a different process.
Yeah. Yeah. But it has that accountability factor that it doesn't really have in the ballot initiative.
I appreciate
There's
that.
something missing.
Um,
I'm accountability guy. You know, what can I say?
accountability guy. Me and my coral color shirt. No problem.
Yeah. So something that back to this public lands thing.
Can we talk about your shirt again for a second? What's up with the shark? I thought it was Lacoste for a second. I was like, that's not Lacoste. It's not an alligator. It's a shark.
No, dude. My wife got it for me.
Oh my God, do you guys vacation in Florida much? I got like a real Florida vibe coming from you. You got a little shark. You probably go like fishing or something.
No, actually, so I was born in Florida.
There it is. There it is. You're no better than me.
That's right. Oh my word. Oh man.
How did I call that? How? How? There's just something.
It's on my bio.
My God. It is?
Yeah.
Well, good thing I never hang out at websites.
Oh geez, that's funny.
God bless it.
Yeah,
What were we even saying? I don't even know what day it is anymore.
You were asking about my shirt.
Yeah.
But
But that wasn't actually a good question. I was just trying to make fun of your coral color shirt, which I successfully did. And then I outed you as a Floridian.
Which
This is
it's
wild.
already out there. You look anywhere, it's on there. So I was born in Florida. 3 years. I was the middle child, so 4 of 6. So the second middle child.
Oh.
When I was 3 years old, my family moved to Ukraine, 1992.
Holy cow.
Yeah, as Christian missionaries, and lived there for 8 years. Came back when I was 12. And then moved to Emmett, Idaho, when I was almost 14.
Florida, Ukraine, Emmett.
Yeah,
That's quite a trip.
yeah. There's this funny story because obviously the ag is huge in Idaho, right? Ag is
It's also huge in Ukraine, right? Like
Yeah.
the Ukrainian flag is wheat over a blue sky.
Yeah. So we had 98 acres of wheat fields in Ukraine. And when I first got into elected office, I was meeting with the grain producers and they were like, do you have any background in farming? And I was like, well, not like you guys. I was like, but I'm probably the only person you know who's ever harvested wheat with a scythe.
Wow.
You know, like the Grim Reaper scythe. Yeah. Yeah. Every summer.
I bet your golf game is incredible.
Unfortunately, it's not as good as it should be. It's not as good as it should be.
Is that as hard as it looks?
It builds character.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's wild times.
Yeah. Well, I think there was one tractor in the entire village. And I don't think I remember seeing it run. I mean, it was very old ag. Now, obviously, Ukraine today is not like that at all. But
that was mid-90s Ukraine.
Yeah, that was like right after the fall of the Soviet Union. Like the Budapest Agreement didn't even get signed until '94.
Wow.
So I mean, it was early collapse. I remember bread lines and ration cards as a kid.
And your parents with 6 kids were like, I know. This is a good idea.
You know, people needed to hear about Jesus, and that place had been closed off for quite a long time. And
how was the success of the mission?
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah, when I was, it was a year or two after we got there, and we had been getting death threats and kidnap threats and everything, because of course we're the Americans, so we must be filthy rich. The decadence. Sorry, that's shoot, what's it called? The Hudson River? Shoot. Help me out. It's a Robin Williams movie where he's a Russian circus performer and he comes to the US and then come on, you got it.
How do I not know this Robin Williams film? I've never heard what you're talking about.
Okay, you got to look it up, dude, because I can't
Robin
remember
Williams, Russian circus
It's like
performer.
something on the Hudson.
I mean, I remember Miracle on the Hudson. Sully the Pilot?
No.
Nope, not
Definitely not.
Williams Hudson film. Let's see here. The Decadence. It's Vladimir Ivanov, Russian musician, wants to defect the U.S., and that film is called Moscow on the Hudson.
There we go. Moscow on the Hudson. Okay. So
The Decadence.
oh, they say that all the time, right? Because this circus team comes to the U.S. and they're like, the KGB is with them, like shielding them up, and they're like, beware the decadence.
That's wild. You know, Jones, Jim Jones.
I thought you were going to say Indiana.
No. You know, the former judge. Yeah. He was on the show. He told me, you know, he's quite a bit older. I think he's in his 80s now. He was telling me that when he was a kid, he went over to like the Soviet Union and, you know, like the Eastern Bloc countries, and everybody was blown away by his Levi's, like his blue jeans. If you had denim, people were like, what do you want for those?
Oh yeah.
And just, I mean, like this is the maiden voyage of this pair of pants. My wife, you know, like I come into the room the other day and there are 3 transparent bags, you know, because that's what you get when you order off Amazon. It's just like, she's like, try these on for me at some point. And so I'm like rifling through my clothes this morning to like grab something, and I'm like, it's not like shorts weather, but it's not. It's like, I'll just try
circling back around to my shirt.
Yeah. I'm like, not wearing pink today. But I grab these and like, it blows me away. Like when you take a step back and you realize that it's not that long ago that if you were wearing a pair of denim, people were like, damn, decadence. Like, right. I'll do anything for that. I don't know, man. There's a sentiment that I had this year around 4th of July that and this country, or excuse me, this year in general, you know, we've been going through a lot of crazy things as a country and as a people. And, you know, I, as an American, experienced a lot of insanity, polar opposites, you know, obviously moving from the state that shall not be named to Idaho, and seeing these different areas in the country and deeply digging my feet in. And, you know, like, this is it, man. Like, I'm never leaving now. I have a real knack for engaging in geographically restricted employment. It's like, now I'm really never leaving Idaho. I don't even have transferable skills. I didn't have skills in the first place. But the point is, like, it's great seeing America more. It's great experiencing it more. And as rough as this time of America has been, I think for all people, you know, anybody who, you know, was on the left who experienced the first presidency of President Trump freaked out. And then, you know, Biden came in, and anybody on the right who has experienced Biden freaked out. And now, you know, President Trump is back and people on the left it's like, yeah, we have a lot of turmoil. We have a lot of anxiety, but man, we're still incredible. Like, it's still the best. It's just, I just feel very lucky to be here.
Me too.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, we when I came back to the States, that was a huge freaking shock for me. The whole concept. The decadence. No, because my you know, I'm 4th of 6 kids. We're not freaking rich. Okay. And we're getting ready to go to school. And my mom goes to Payless or whatever and gets me these, I don't even know what the brand was, right? Tennis shoes. Payless tennis shoes. And I got to school going into 6th grade. And the first day, yeah, those aren't Nikes. Those aren't this. I'm like, they're freaking new. There are no holes. Like, what are you talking about? It was just mind blowing to me. No, we are absolutely blessed. And by the way, South Florida has a very different culture than Idaho. So coming back, yeah, it turns out. So
many Cubans. I don't know. Yeah. You mean you can't get fried bananas for dessert at any restaurant downtown?
No. So when we came out to Idaho, it was just such a reset for me, because it was a lot more aligned with that idea of like, dude, we're all here. Like, communities have to survive together.
Yeah.
Right. That's not really and it's not, I'm not picking on Florida. It's literally the entire East Coast. Right. Is very much like,
you don't need people.
Yeah.
You don't like, that's one thing that has struck me over and over. It's like, oh, this is the problem because we don't need each other. Like we have all of this stuff. Like there's no getting to know your neighbor. There's no leaning on your neighbor. There's no like, hey, there's a fire coming. Can you let the horses out of the pasture so they can run away? Like that was a conversation I had a week ago. It was like, yeah, like this is really important, man. Like, hey, run up the street and make sure, the neighbor's okay. She's an older lady. It's like, okay, great. Like you just don't need each other. You find these niches, you repel everything that you don't like. You wiggle yourself into your little thing. And it's like, great, here we are. Not here, man. It's a different life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Ben, what a time with that.
You better use some of my jokes, bro. That's all I can say. Because, man, I don't feel like I got to really fully explain this public lands thing because it's such a huge topic.
Well, hang on. Just
so
1 second. Hang on. Just give me 1 second here. I have my guy. Okay, let's do this. My apologies.
No, you're good.
Let's take a little bit more time then. Explain what you missed. Because if I may, This is what I've heard from you. You are bringing forth a bill that would allow for a constitutional amendment vote from the people.
Yep.
This bill that you're bringing forth would have to have supermajority support in both the House and the Senate during the upcoming legislative session. If it does in fact achieve supermajority support, then it would go on to the November 2026 election as the ballot. And there it would need, again, a supermajority. Simple majority. Okay. So at that point in November 2026, 50 plus 1 people vote for amending the Constitution. That Constitution says that we will create a trust, that if we ever get federal lands from the federal government, they would be held in trust, never to be sold.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
And okay, so wait, what else do you, because that you've already explained, like it's very clear to me.
Well, yeah, no, I think understanding what the constitutional amendment does is one thing. Understanding how it will actually play out in real life is a little different because the federal government's not going to give us 50% of the federal land.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah. Okay. So how do you think what's the mechanism by which we would actually come into ownership of that land?
Oh, I think it'll be tract by tract. I think it'll be, hey, this makes sense for the state to manage it. This makes sense for the local community to benefit from it. That's why I'd say in the next 100 years,
what you're saying.
It shifts the whole discussion from should we sell to who should benefit from it.
Gotcha.
That's the real shift.
So this is where in 21-25, there's some other idiot podcaster talking to some other, coral pink shirt senator. And they're like, okay, 100 years ago, Senator Ben Adams passed this constitutional set up this constitutional amendment. The people of Idaho voted on it. And now
it's the largest land trust in the West. Yeah, that's the reality.
And he was visionary about how to set this up so that as people started trying to look at public lands as solutions for budget shortfalls in the near term, they were like, no. This is Idaho. We're not about that life. This land comes to us and we never sell it.
If we were to sell public land in Idaho, and it's funny because a couple of years ago, you'll remember, the whole slogan of the Republican Party was keep Idaho, Idaho. You remember this? Right? That's the entire vibe. Without our public lands, we don't just lose what Idaho looks like. We would fundamentally lose the culture that exists here. People do not come to Idaho for the private lands. They come for the public lands.
That's 100% true, man. So bottom line is that's your hope, that you're going to help fundamentally reframe the structure of what Idaho is. So in the coming centuries and decades and centuries, as as we have an opportunity to, Idaho comes into possession of things that were previously federally owned and managed, and it comes into Idaho management, Idaho ownership in a trust, the Ben Adams Trust.
Will not be sold. Because right now, let's say this process rolled out, but this amendment didn't ever happen.
Sure.
That land is going the endowment, and the endowment is going to say, can we make enough money from utilizing it, or should we sell it? And we have a history. So I don't want that land sold. I want it to continue to be here when my kids grow up and my grandkids grow up. So something that really hit me a while back. When my grandkids come up to me, because we've seen this in other states, we've seen this all over the place. Hey, we've seen this here. What was Idaho like when you were a kid? I don't want to say, oh, I want to say, go outside. We kept it for you. That's what conservatism is. That's what actual conservatism is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We kept it for you. Well, look, man, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's call it. I want to have you back on during the session, talk about other things, but an update on where this is. I'm really, really interested in this bill. I'm really interested in giving the people of Idaho a say. There is a lot of gridlock, I think, a lot of frustration with representatives. I don't know if direct democracy is always the best thing. Obviously, French Revolution, a little bad, bad example.
It depends on which side you're on.
Yeah, right. But it seems like there are issues really coming up now that, you know, be it the grocery bill or, you know, the health bill, the abortion bill, or a constitutional amendment. There are things that are going to be coming to the people of Idaho in November of 26 that are very unique and across the spectrum, right, left, center, the whole thing. And it's just going to be a wild year.
I know. Don't I know it?
Don't I know it? Let's do this again, man.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much, and thanks for the coffee.
Hey, thank you for coming on.